Hi everyone, so this is going to be a pretty rough and ready explanation of tempo in lifting, okay? So when you add tempo to a lift, it increases your muscular contractions and the time under tension in a lift or in a particular movement. We've explained that in other videos, so go have a look at those. But to explain how tempo works, typically you will see 4 numbers or an X instead of a number potentially as well. Okay, so what you've got we've got 3 examples here just to show you different types of lifts. So the first number is always the eccentric phase. So the eccentric phase, for simplicity, and this can change, but just for simplicity, think of that as the lowering phase in a lift. So in your squat, it's as you squat down, it's that eccentric portion, okay, as you drop down. So I'm going to circle eccentric with green, okay, so E. Okay, your next number is what's called an isometric, okay, so you're down at the bottom of that squat and you hold, okay, so you're holding there. So this one will be dropping down for 3 seconds, holding for 1 second at the bottom. Then on the way up, it's 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to give that a red color. So that's that upward phase, that's concentric muscular movement, so driving up. And then we hold for 1 second at the bottom. So we've got downward phase, hold, upward phase, hold. That's typically how tempo works. Okay, so if we were taking this example as a squat, 3, 2, 1, down to the bottom, 1 second, 2, 1, 2, up, 1 at the top, and straight back down again for 3 seconds. Okay, so that will be your tempo. Let's say you're doing 5 reps. You do that for the 5 reps, and then you hold for 1 second at the top of the 5th rep, and then that's you done. Okay, the next example we've got, so we've got 2, 0, X, 1. Okay, let's say that's an overhead press, for example. So I'll just adjust myself here a little bit. Let's say it's a press overhead. So the 2 seconds still relates to that downward phase. Okay, so it's still that eccentric portion of the lift. So E, down. The 0 seconds, so let's say bring in a bar or a dumbbell from overhead, okay? And I'm going to use this, which is sun cream, which clearly I did not use today. Okay, so from overhead, bringing it down for 2 seconds. 2, 1, and then we get to this portion, which is 0 at the bottom. So earlier we had the squat where we held for a second at the bottom. This means you don't hold at all. It's just a smooth motion where you're going to start going up again. So this is your 0 second hold at the bottom of the movement. So that's that isometric portion. And then the X is that concentric motion. So just for simplicity again, think of it as the upwards. And then when you see X, it's explosive, okay? That's what it stands for. The simplest way to think about that is explosive. So X is as much force as you can put behind it. So 2 seconds down, 2, 1, 0 at the bottom, bang. And then we get to here, okay? So X is explosive as possible. The first couple of reps, that's going to be more than the last couple of reps. But a lot of muscular contraction is derived from the central nervous system, so you've got to be able to drive with as much force as your brain can muster. That's going to be less. If we put a velocity sensor on the bar or whatever, it would drop. But it's as explosive as you can make it, okay? So X is for explosive. So I've driven it up, and then I'm holding for 1 second at the top, and then I'm coming back down for 2 again. 2, 1, 0 at the bottom, bang, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So you get that. So it's 2 seconds down, 0 resting at the bottom, explode up, 1 held at the top. And that 1 hold at the top is often a part that we miss, which is that end range strengthening that we really need to focus on holding. And that is really, really good for injury prevention. These 2 guys are really good for injury prevention in particular because we usually cause injuries at the end range of where we're strong. Okay, we could really jam on that and get really technical about why that is, but typically when your muscle is put at its ends of what stresses it can manage, that's usually where trouble is awaiting. So you got to get really strong at the ends of the motion. The last one, this one has 4 seconds on the downward phase, 1 second hold at the bottom, 1 second up, 1 second hold at the top. So look, for simplicity, let's talk about a 4 second downward squat. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 1 at the bottom, 1, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1 at the top again. Okay, so again, downward phase for 4 seconds, 1 second hold at the bottom, 1 second driving up, 1 second hold at the top. That is how you work tempo. Okay, so always think the number relates to seconds in the phase of the lift. The first number is always the downward phase, that lowering phase, that slowing phase. The next one is going to be a holding phase. The next one is going to be the upward phase or the explosive phase, depending on what the type of movement is. And then a hold again at the top. So that's tempo, guys, in a nutshell. Try to be as quick as possible on that, but it'll help you understand how to read those numbers on tempo.